Hey, ESPN, I'm Jack. I'm the co-founder of Crack.com.
And I'm Miles, a former lobbyist that loves soccer and gets very nervous when I'm pulled over by the police.
And we're the hosts of The Daily Zeitgeist, a daily comedic news podcast that covers politics, pop culture, and we're both big sports fans. I'm actually named after my grandfather, legendary NBA coach Dr. Jack Ramsey.
Oh, well, I'm named after Miles Davis, a legendary heroin addict who is not my grandfather.
It's not a competition. So search The Daily Zeitgeist on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever fine podcasts, or give it away for free.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head to death.
Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
He's Jalen Rose.
What up, though?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in.
And we are Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio. What do we do?
We give the people what they want.
Ennis.
Cantor.
Ennis.
EK.
Mr. Cantor.
Big fella.
Ennis.
E. Not so easy.
I understand you're mad. I understand you're frustrated. It happens to all of us. But you know what doesn't happen to all of us? We break our own forearms smashing things. Ennis, what's going through your mind? And he's funny. Ennis has a sense of humor. You know, I just wonder what you know when he shows up at practice next, and his stash brother Steven Adams walks over. What does he say to Steven Adams?
There's not much to be said because it's a self-inflicted wound, and usually in sports, injuries happen, freak things take place, and you adjust accordingly because that's just the nature of it. When things happen that you can avoid, like this, a team that's in a playoff hunt, need all the contributors they can get, and particularly on the offensive end, because they struggle to score. They're not a really good three-point shooting team. Russell Westbrook is playing terrific, averaging a triple-double, but he's probably their best finisher around the hoop.
Yeah.
And so now those drop-off passes, those dump passes, those post stubs,
Putbacks,
his ability to take advantage of the defense, they're really going to miss that.
well, their defense will get better. Carmelo Anthony is just being shopped around at this point.
Shopping.
Anybody want Carmelo?
Go
Anybody?
shopping.
Anybody? They're about to take out ads in the Super Bowl.
Go shopping.
It's going to be Phil Jackson in the ad in the Super Bowl. Be like,
Baby.
one Carmelo, one superstar athlete. Give me yours. The Cavs were like, nah, we're good. Now the Celtics are like, nah, we're good. No Carmelo for us. We're all right. Why are the Celtics saying no, and are they just negotiating?
Because the Boston Celtics are a team that plays pace and space, not a lot of isolation. Unlike the Cavs, which when people say he wouldn't fit, the Cavs and the Warriors face each other in the finals, it couldn't be more polar opposites of teams. One that relies on steady ball movement, giving up a good shot to get a great shot, and the other team relies strictly on isolation. That's another reason why Carmelo would fit into that dynamic. The Celtics play more in the vein of surrounding the three-point line and or giving Isaiah Thomas a chance to make a play. Break down the defense. He's a scoring guard. He's averaging 28 points a game. He's an all-star. Al Horford is a terrific passing big. So the floor is constantly spread. They don't play a lot of isolation other than Isaiah.
I mean, Isaiah
so
Thomas.
He really
in the
won't
fourth quarter,
fit.
it's like give the ball to Isaiah, and hopefully he gets us a bucket.
Yeah. So it would change the dynamics of how their team looks and how they perform and how they play.
Jalen Rose, there was a report today. You'll never believe this. Clippers might potentially trade for Carmelo Anthony.
No.
You'll never believe this. Yeah, the report just came in today. Those of you that listen to Jalen and Jacoby know that is broken news. But they're putting together this kind of junk package of, you know, no disrespect, Crawford, Rivers, Pierce, you know, Carmelo Anthony. I don't know if that's fair. If you were the Clippers, would you include J.J. Redick to sweeten the deal?
No. If I'm the Clippers, we acknowledge their three all-star players, Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, and now DeAndre Jordan. But the thing that allows a lot of that pick and roll, lob over the top action, the reverse action to happen is the ability of J.J. Redick to stretch the floor. He's one of the best knockdown shooters in the game. And also, coming off screens on the baseline frees up opportunities for drop passes, for dunks, lobs over the top as well, and curls to the paint and or kickouts to the point guard. So they need the dynamic that he brings to the table. He's the most unique part on the perimeter besides Chris Paul in this manner. Chris Paul is what you consider a traditional point guard, gets you points, gets you assists, gets you steals. Jamal Crawford, one of the best isolation players we have in the game, playing one-on-one. But J.J. Redick's shooting is just as dynamic to what they hope to get accomplished. So I would not include J.J. Redick in a trade for Carmelo Anthony.
No. I wouldn't at first. I wouldn't at the end of January. But if we get into mid-November, a week before the deadline, I would sneak him into a deal. And I would take Carmelo and lose J.J. Redick. It's Carmelo Anthony. I think through all of this, people are forgetting how good Carmelo Anthony is.
I think you're underestimating how good J.J. Redick is. If they lost J.J. Redick and they added Carmelo Anthony, who's going to shoot consistently from three-point line?
Carmelo Anthony.
That's not consistent.
No. Yes, it is. Carmelo Anthony can shoot threes.
J.J. Redick is one of the best knockdown shooters in the entire league. That allows you not to suffocate the floor, especially when you're going to try to play two bigs a lot with Blake and DeAndre. And DeAndre, remember, he's not posting up for offense. Okay, so he's in and around the baseline. And so when that driver comes, you need that player that can catch and shoot. And J.J. Redick's one of the best in the game. I disagree with you. I would not include J.J. Redick in a deal for Carmelo Anthony.
Well, let me tell you why none of this matters. Because even though he's shopping Carmelo Anthony, no one can get Phil Jackson on the phone. I was shocked when I heard this.
No.
I was shocked when I heard this. No, I was like, I thought Phil Jackson finally has to earn his $12 million a year. He's going to have to do some work. He's shopping Carmelo Anthony. Bobby Marks from The Vertical had this to say. Quote, he's not an easy man to get in touch with. If you're going to try to make a trade proposal with the Knicks, you're not going to Phil Jackson. What? You're going to Steve Mills. And that's how it's been for teams in the trade process. Okay, I understand Steve Mills, general manager, usually the people you discuss about trades. Then what is he getting paid $12 million for?
Initially bringing Phil to the Knicks, along with the cachet of the championship rings that he won as a coach, being a member of a Knicks team that won a championship in the early 70s, this was at a time where fans were literally threatening to picket outside of MSG for James Dolan to not be the owner of the team anymore.
And it's cold out there in the winter.
And this became something that made everybody chill out. He got Carmelo to re-sign. He drafted Porzingis. People saw promise. Everybody was happy. But the problem is that's not the ultimate goal. And so it's disappointing if you're a Knicks fan to hear this. But for those of us that are in the inner circle, look back at all of the reports. They're no surprise that he's not spending full time in New York. It's no surprise.
But he won't pick up the phone?
That he's not rolling up his sleeves, actually
won't pick up the
doing
phone?
the grunt work for to do whatever it takes to, navigate this job.
Pick up the phone, Phil. Stop meditating. Stop doing whatever you're doing. Stop your yoga class, your Zen reading, or your painting, whatever you're up to. Pick up the phone and trade Carmelo Anthony to the Clippers, okay? Because apparently no one else is interested. There's been a lot of drama in Cleveland. We've covered it extensively here. And, what's happening in both Cleveland and Chicago is everyone's trying to be like, oh, this is behind us. We're all nice now. And here's what LeBron had to say. Quote, he's the owner of the team. I'm one of the players on the team. I think all 14 guys have a working relationship with our owner. It's not about me. It's not about him. So it's a non-issue. What jumps out at you from that?
A couple of things jump out at me is that I'm going to pull you behind the curtain. And do
Oh,
this.
no.
Yes.
Please take us behind the curtain, Mr. Rose.
He's highlighting the fact that instead of carrying 15 players on a roster, they carry 14, meaning that they're trying to save money on that last spot. He's exposing that. Also, when he says, I'm just one of the players on the team, no, LeBron James is the most unique player in a power position of a superstar in the history of the game. Michael Jordan ended up a member of the Washington Wizards. Larry Bird is with the Indiana Pacers. So for a star player with a no-trade clause that's won a championship in Cleveland, 2 others in Miami, to have this level of power and cachet, I'm pretty sure he's looking at Dan Gilbert saying, keep reaching into the checkbook. And Dan Gilbert said, I told you I was going to do whatever it took to win a championship. We did that. I maxed out you, Love, Tristan, Kyrie, paid JR, paid Shumpert. These are all new deals.
I gave you what you wanted.
So they both have legitimate arguments, in my opinion.
It's just funny how Monday it was, oh, they would bring me somebody if they really wanted to repeat. And Tuesday it was, oh, we're so top heavy. And now here it's Friday, it's a non-issue.
How about the NBA is 6 degrees of LeBron James right now? He's literally the puppet master of the major topics. We're talking about LeBron and the Cavs and what's going on with him and Dan Gilbert and possibly making a move. We're talking about Carmelo in New York. What is one of those destinations? The Clippers and Chris Paul. And lastly, Dwayne Wade in Chicago and the issues that they're dealing with as well.
So much drama in the NBA. Started when Dwayne Wade and Jimmy Butler started taking shots at their teammates. And then we have Rajon Rondo with a lengthy Instagram post defending his teammates. And now today was the day where after a big closed-door meeting, they all get their stories together and they trot themselves out in front of microphones and act like everything's okay. Gar Forman was pretty upset. He kind of went after Butler and Wade for what they did. Do you think today helped bring them closer together or tear them further apart?
I think today the first domino officially starts to fall and eventually Fred Hoiberg is going to lose his job.
Really?
When your team implodes the way this has, and each person has a level of cachet attached to them that's speaking so demonstratively, that's the first move that normally makes. That is made. Jimmy Butler, they just gave him a maximum contract to be the future. Dwayne Wade has an option to leave after this year, and Rajon Rondo is on a one-year deal. The latter two have won championships here in this league. So because of that, that's the unfortunate thing for Fred, who to me took over a job that the goal was to use his offensive prowess, play pace and space type basketball. Yet when you look at the composition of a roster, when 4 of your 5 starters are Rondo, Wade, Taj Gibson, and Lopez, you're not spreading the floor.
Not a lot of space. Not a lot of space.
So that dynamic is off, which leads to a frustration of a team that, by the way, will be in the Eastern Conference playoffs. And I told people this offseason, the New York Knicks and the Chicago Bulls did the exact same thing this offseason.
They retroed some old shows, just like they do sneakers.
Correct. They both have a Team USA participant in Melo and Butler. They both took chances on point guards with Rose and Rondo, and they both had homecomings for Noah and Wade. They did the exact same thing.
It's working out the same.
Correct.
It's working out the exact same way in both. There's also some reports that Butler and Wade were mainly upset with Mirotic and Carter Williams. So here's what I imagine happens. They lose a game, and Mirotic and Carter Williams are having some jokes in the locker room. And that makes everybody mad. I've never been in the locker room after a loss. Is there some sort of no-fun policy?
There's a no-fun policy based on the seriousness of how your team's playing at that time. If the Spurs lose a game, of course they're going to treat it like it's the end of the world because they don't want to lose back-to-back ones. You see how the Golden State Warriors have been a team that haven't lost back-to-back games in as long as we can remember. For that same reason. Success is a function of what? Of expectations. So when you're a member of the Bulls and you drop a game, if it's not doom or gloom to you, then you're going to be an average team. When you look down at their record, they're an average team. But we can't act like we just felt like they were going to run through the league and be a great team. I didn't expect that. And it's kind of playing out as a lot of people thought.
When you do look at both these teams, the Knicks and the Bulls, at the beginning of the season, you do look at their roster and say, I could see this working, but it probably won't work. But, like, you could see it. Like, you could see, Rondo gets it together and Wade's scoring and Jimmy Butler, evolves into a superstar and Gibson Lopez. Like, you can see them being successful, but then when you actually watch it, you're like, oh, yeah, this is kind of what I thought.
And here's what happens. When you have a player like Jimmy Butler, you hope that you can now draft a player to go with them. They picked up some modest pieces in Mirotic, McDermott, Bobby Portis, Valentine this year. But they haven't transcended into being that guy that can run with Jimmy the next few years. So now the current situation isn't working. You don't know about your future other than Jimmy Butler. It's time to blow this thing up, which I think is going to happen. The first domino, unfortunately for Fred Hoiberg, is I think it's going to cost him his job.
This season?
Yes.
Yep. You're listening to Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio. Remember where you heard that first.
And we putting it on wax.
LeBron James is headed to the All-Star game, as he should, but he's a little lonely. Here's what he had to say, quote, "First of all, obviously it sucks not having my guys there that I've spent so many All-Star weekends with. CP, Melo, D-Wade, and C. Bosh. I've spent so many All-Stars with the past couple, almost a decade. Actually, LeBron James is the oldest participant in this year's All-Star game.
What?
You kind of pointed this out yesterday about the Banana Boat Boys and what's happening with them now. What does this tell you about the league and where we're going?
The league has changed. It's a young man's game. It's faster. It's more athletic. It's more skilled. It's more specialty-oriented. And winning ultimately becomes the reward as you start to get older and you're not putting up monster numbers. For me, Chris Paul got snubbed.
Yep. I feel like that too.
Now, Carmelo Anthony, when I filled out the team, as well as Dwayne Wade, he didn't make my list either.
I mean, Dwayne Wade's not a
I wasn't
consideration.
surprised when the coaches didn't pick him.
Nope.
Who you take off?
No one. Do you think CP3 feels snubbed?
He should. Yes.
Do you think CP3 wants Carmelo to join the Clippers?
I do.
You do?
Another thing you're trying to do if you're the Clippers is you want CP3 to stay.
Yep.
And you know that bringing his friend to Los Angeles helps that process.
There are reports that Blake Griffin is eager to sign back with the Clippers as soon as possible. Are you surprised by that?
I'm not surprised.
I am. I'll tell you why. If I'm Blake Griffin, you only have so many opportunities to be suited by different teams. You only have so many opportunities to just post up in the Hamptons and have people come to you with virtual reality goggles and PowerPoint presentations and Tom Brady and private jets. Like, why not explore that? Why not see what's out there before you lock yourself for years and years?
I think that beyond what happens on the floor, this situation has been terrific for Blake Griffin, the brand. You see him in multiple commercials.
He's funny.
He's been able to get into production. So it's bigger than just the score of the game. And he was the lead domino that helped bring Doc and CP3. And I'm pretty sure he has a really good relationship with the new owner. So I am not surprised that Blake wants to remain in Los Angeles.
Don't you want me to wind it down a little bit? Aren't
No.
you going to take a couple meetings?
No.
Oh, see, I'll take a couple meetings just for the free food.
Here's why you don't take a couple of meetings. And then here's a caution to the players. I saw LaMarcus Aldridge take 15,000 meetings, Kevin Durant as well. When you do that, and DeAndre Jordan in the past also, when you do that, it's almost like the art of war. You show weakness to the opponent. Because in those meetings, they're selling you on what they think you're unhappy with in your current situation. So now they know, once you take a meeting, that you can be had whether you leave or not. And you know what that truly tells? That sometimes you're not 100% in the foxhole.
Do you think Kevin Durant is 100% in the foxhole in Oakland?
He is.
Is Anthony Davis fragile?
Yes.
Yep.
And it happens to players. I hope he doesn't have an injury-plagued career, but so many players recently that come to mind, say the last 20 years, who I feel if they didn't have injury, the sky was the limit for what they could have gotten accomplished beyond what they already did. Penny Hardaway, Brandon Roy come to mind as players that injuries
Granger
took their toll on them. But he at least played a long time. So did Grant Hill, Tracy McGrady. At least they still played a long time. Hopefully Anthony Davis gets that opportunity.
Real quick, reporter was talking to Deion Waiters. You guys always hear about the zone. What's it like to be in that zone and to have that moment 2 games in a row? Dion Waiters said this, quote, I love that moment. You can never shy away from that. I just feel, though, like one of my favorite quotes is, I forgot it already. One of my favorite quotes. But yeah, man, you just can't be afraid to take them shots.
How about this?
What?
Like the movie Face Off. Don't you think Dwayne Wade picks up the remote control and is watching SportsCenter and seeing Dion Waiters hitting back-to-back game-winning shots saying, this is my house? You don't think that irks Dwayne Wade some?
It probably does a little bit.
You know, if he could have a do-over, he would have took that $6 million less and stayed in Miami.
You think so?
Yes.
I don't know. You're the guy who always says get the most money possible. $6 million is a lot of money.
He's in Florida. No state taxes.
I love that Dion Waiters forgot his own quote. It reminds me of someone very close to me. It's Friday. About 8 days, Super Bowl 51 will be upon us. Between now and then, there'll be plenty to discuss. As you noticed, we try to stay away from the Super Bowl until it's Super Bowl week. You know, there's only so much to say about these two teams. But I want to play a little game with you.
And we purposely ignoring the skills competition.
Yep.
That was, yeah, no comment. I want to play a game with you. Tom Brady's an impressive person. He's an impressive athlete, and he's very celebrated. And, you know, I'm going to play a game called Real News or Fake News.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a fact. It could be a fact or an alternative fact. It could be real news. It could be fake news.
Okay.
Are you ready to play, Mr. Rose?
Let's get it.
Time for real news or fake news. Tom Brady has more Super Bowl experience than the entire Falcons team. Real news or fake news?
That's real news. That's an absolute fact.
Isn't that shocking?
It's not shocking because he has so many Super Bowl appearances and championships. Atlanta has a young core group. They do have a coach, however, that's coached in 3 of the previous 4 Super Bowls. So I'm not surprised by that at all.
I have a theory about championship athletic teams. It's not based on any fact, any evidence, or any numbers, right? And it is first you get there and then you win there. And you've seen this happen in sports a lot. Like, you know, first you get to the finals, LeBron and D-Wade, and then you win the finals. You've seen this happen. And I feel like the Falcons might be in that get there place. One argument I would make against your Falcon pick is inexperience could be a factor. You ready for the next?
Let's get it.
Tom Brady was drafted by the Montreal Expos. Real news or fake news?
Fake news. Did you see his combine video? He almost didn't get drafted by the NFL.
He was selected in the 18th round of the 1995 Major League Baseball draft. What? Interesting little nugget there. Tom Brady has played in more playoff games than any other NFL player. Real news or fake news?
Current or in history?
In history.
Fake news.
He's played in 33 playoff games, more than anybody else. Tom Brady is a member of the Illuminati. Real news or fake news?
Fake news, definitely.
Do you know that for a fact, though?
I do.
Do you know for a fact that Tom Brady is not a member of the Illuminati?
Yes.
Okay.
He's a part of the University of Michigan Wolverine family.
Speaking of which, Tom Brady was the reason that Jalen Rose is the only black man in history to ever wear Uggs.
Yep.
Actually, I've never worn Uggs.
You've never worn Uggs?
I was in an Uggs commercial.
But you've never worn Uggs.
I have not.
I'm sorry.
I take that
I want to
back.
apologize to our audience.
Nope, I'll take that back.
You wore Uggs?
I have Uggs house shoes.
They're comfortable?
Really comfortable. Fur and all.
Tom Brady claims he has never tried coffee or strawberries. Real news or fake news?
Where's LL? It's virtually impossible.
He claims this, though. Here's the thing. Why are you lying to me, Tom? I'm not impressed by this. You know, like there's some things you just don't have to lie about. You've had a strawberry, dude. You've had a strawberry. I know you've had a strawberry.
That's the one.
I know you've had a strawberry, Tom.
In your life. You're almost 40 years old.
You've never had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with strawberry jam in it? Come on, Tom. Tom Brady has the most Super Bowl appearances. Real news or fake news?
Real news.
6 Super Bowl appearances. You are correct, Mr. Rose. Tom Brady's dream in college was that one day he'd be able to only wear new socks. Real news or fake news?
Fake news.
When he was in college, he's on wax saying that he would love one day to just wear a pair of socks for that day, and then when he is done with them, throw them away to have a fresh pair the next day. Knowing what I know about some of your sartorial habits, sounds like you and Tom Brady have a little more in common than just going to Michigan University.
The things that motivate you.
Do you think he wears socks twice now?
Yep.
Really? So he's still got something to strive for, I suppose. Tom Brady has more game-winning drives than any other quarterback. Real news or fake news?
Fake news.
You're right. Oh, no, I keep pushing the wrong button. Sorry, buddy. Peyton Manning has the most. 56. Tom Brady, not the biggest, game-winning drive guy.
He don't need to. You see some of the
'cause
box
they're up by 3
scores?
touchdowns.
They're about
That's
3-4
what's up.
touchdowns.
Tom Brady has completed more passes in the Super Bowl than any other quarterback.
Fake news.
He has 164 completed Super Bowl passes for Thomas Brady. So if you consider that's 5 appearances, it's a lot. You see, I tried to do the math in my head and I couldn't do it. 32 passes a game. Tom Brady ran the 40 at the NFL Combine in 1 minute and 43 seconds. Real news or fake news?
It was longer than that.
You're right.
You're going to run a marathon faster than he ran at the combine.
Yep.
So I'm training for the marathon, and my only goal is to beat Puffy and Oprah. And we looked up their times. They ran pretty quickly. Oprah got it in back in the day. Diddy really tried. I'm concerned about this. I can't let Oprah beat me. I can't.
Don't take it personal.
I can't let Oprah beat me. Ready for another one, Mr. Rose?
Let's get it.
Tom Brady and the New England Patriots will win Super Bowl 51.
I'm going with the Falcons.
That's incorrect. What? Tom Brady is going to be the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Julio Jones.
You know what? I don't want to have this conversation anymore because you know the Patriots are going to win.
Get off the bandwagon.
Jalen Rose, I want to tell you the story of a gentleman named Akil Mitchell. He is a professional basketball player in New Zealand. He was playing basketball when his eye popped out.
Wow, that's crazy.
We have seen the video.
Wow.
What would you do if your eye popped out?
I would freak out.
What would you do? What would happen? He said, here's what he said, quote, I could still see out of the eye even though it was kind of on the side of my face.
Wow.
It was a weird sensation.
Wow.
Imagine you're just going up for a rebound, and next thing you know, you're seeing out of the eye on the side of your face.
Wow.
I might just die. I might literally just die from a heart attack. I'm just shocked.
Me too. And you know what else? Imagine if somebody would have stepped on it.
And I know. This is like some Looney Tunes stuff. Listen to this. This part freaks me out. This just gives me the heebie-jeebies. Quote, with the palm of my hand, I felt my eyeball on the side of my face, which was when I knew this was worse than I first thought it was. Just feeling an eyeball in the palm of your hand.
I'm not gonna be able to do it.
That's the only thing I could imagine I would do.
So here's the good part. I don't know how eyeballs work. They popped it right back in. He's good money. Went right back in the game. Scored 35 points. That's not true. Sometimes my brain goes down deep, dark places. And one time I said, you know what? I wouldn't mind losing an eye because I could wear an eye patch and that would be like my signature look. Seriously, it would be kind of cool if you had to wear an eye patch. You know what? I'm going eye patch over glass eye Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Would you go glass eye or eye patch?
glass eye.
I'm going eye patch. Bad call, Jalen. You know how we argue about stuff on the show? Like, I feel that is probably the worst answer to any question I've asked
Seriously?
that you've given.
No. You're losing a lot of Raiders fans right now.
Rob Gronkowski is not playing in the Super Bowl, so he's got some spare time. And you know he's an entrepreneur. We've covered his boat cruises and his various bus tours. Well, let's listen to his latest venture. Mr. Gronkowski?
What's up? It's Rob Gronkowski of the New England Patriots, and you are on my party bus, baby.
Rob Gronkowski has a party bus. He's teamed up with a company called Rockstar Limo, and they've outfitted a bus in Gronk style. It's got a stripper pole. It says Yo Soy Fiesta inside of it. There's the score from the last Super Bowl that they won inside of it. Here's my question, Jalen. Why don't people tell him this is a bad idea? Like, why isn't anyone in his life like, hey, Rob, like, how much are you making from this? He's like, I don't know. Share the proceeds? Maybe $20,000? Like, Rob, like, just don't do this.
There's a saying that youth is wasted on the young.
Mm-hmm.
This applies. And I agree with you. While establishing himself, in my opinion, as one of the top 3 or 4 football players in the NFL, the next thing that you hope that he would be doing consistently besides producing is staying healthy. So when you venture off into these type of things, you don't think Bill Belichick is winking at him and saying,
I've always wondered this. It just doesn't seem very patriotic.
You don't think Tom Brady's like, chill out, big fella? But it's so far gone, and he's embraced the whole quote-unquote meathead culture. And so from that, being a fun-loving football player with a personality, this is that side he wants to express. So in theory, I'm not mad at him, but I agree with you. It does seem like it would be something that he would be past by now.
The Gronk Party Bus actually has an ad where they're looking for drivers. And I was like, who would drive the Gronk Party Bus? You need some sort of accreditation. And I thought, oh, yeah. Jalen Rose has a chauffeur's license. You know we're always just one segment away from getting fired. If we get fired, would you consider driving the Gronk Party Bus?
I would. I'll be an Uber driver.
So I'm assuming that the Gronk Party Bus is in New England. And I'm assuming it's for hire. And I'm announcing right now on this show that the producers of this show, who I've not told this to yet, are going to hire the Gronk Party Bus to pick you up from the airport next time you fly to Bristol.
I would think that it's not in New England or Boston.
Where else is the Gronk Party Bus?
It's going to be at the Super Bowl.
No.
I don't think that will make the streets where the Patriots play football.
Nope.
Okay. Next time you land at Bradley and you get out, Rob Gronkowski's going to be standing there with a sign that says Jalen Rose on it that he can't read. So he's going to be saying, Jalen Rose! Jalen Rose! Because he doesn't know what the sign says. And then he's going to walk you over to the bus.
That's very nice.
Did you have a dog growing up?
Yes.
What was the dog's
Doberman
name?
Pinscher.
Oh.
As well as a Great Dane.
Well, they've done some studies. Whenever I said
No, German Shepherd.
Whenever I say they've done some studies, you know something really dumb is about to follow.
Okay.
They did this at the University of Glasgow in Scotland. They played different music for dogs, and they found that dogs like reggae and soft rock.
What?
Are you surprised by this?
I never truly thought about the type of music dogs would like.
What? That's never crossed your mind?
So I can't say I'm surprised.
When they said, would you like to do a national radio and television show with David Jacoby, did you think that we'd be covering what kind of music dogs like?
I knew that we would cover anything and everything.
Speaking of which, in Rockingham County, New Hampshire, there's a Burger King.
That's the only place there's a Burger King?
I'm not done. That was a dramatic pause. Watch how this works. In Rockingham County, New Hampshire, there's a Burger King. If you go to the drive-thru, You ask if nasty is working, and they say yes. And then you ask for your food, and you say, I would like my fries extra crispy. You can go up to the drive-thru window, and do you know what they give you?
What's that?
They don't give you burgers. They don't give you extra crispy fries. They're selling weed out of the drive-thru. They got busted. Apparently Nasty was selling weed out of the drive-thru at Burger King. Just a little hint, in case you're in Rockingham County, and you're hungry, and you want to get high. Every morning in preparation for this show, Jalen just looked up. He was like, what, preparation for the show?
I'm like, what?
What?
Practice?
Huh?
Not a game.
Prepare
Not a
for the
game.
show? What are you talking
about practice?
I read the entire internet.
You do.
The entire internet.
You're a hardworking individual.
And one of the places I love to go to is Reddit. It's you can just fall down a Reddit hole and it just goes forever. And there was this one thing that was on the front page of Reddit that sort of bubbled up. It was a dating advice video. It was about 12 minutes long, and it's from 1949. It's a story about a young man
Listen up, I got a story to tell.
who wants to ask a woman on a date. And we're going to talk about LeBron James and Jimmy Butler and the Super Bowl and all that sports stuff. Plenty of that to come on Jalen and Jacoby. But right now, we're just going to listen to what dating advice sounded like in 1949 and how we would give that advice now in 2017. So let's listen to the first clip. This is from a dating advice instructional video in 1949.
How do you choose a date? Whose company would you enjoy? Well, one thing you can consider is looks.
Okay. You see how they started that? How do you choose a date? One thing you can consider is looks. So, Jalen, that was 1949. Things have changed a little bit since then. How do you choose a date?
To be in a relationship with someone, you have to be physically attracted to them.
Okay, I like that. I like that you're agreeing with the 1949.
But that is an attribute. It's not necessarily a determining factor in a successful relationship. And so I would say people that are like-minded have the same goals per se, not necessarily in the same field, but the same drive to push one another, but also be pushed. And there's a fine line of balance in between.
That's very well put. But I'm going to poke holes in the entire scenario. Now, I want to mention, this is basically aimed at men. This video was. You don't choose a date. The date chooses you. No, she's not going to walk up to you and say, I want to go out on Friday.
True story.
But she's going to let you know subtly that she is open to going out on Friday, and then you ask her to go out on Friday. Your options are whatever women are into you. As a man.
Correct.
Let's listen to the next clip from this 1949 dating advice video.
Woody thought of Janice and how good-looking she was. He'd really have to rate to date somebody like her. Yes, he'd enjoy that. Except, well, it's too bad Janice always acts so superior and bored. She'd make a fellow feel awkward and inferior.
First off, this guy sounds like a chauvinist.
He sure does.
Let me get that on wax. The next thing, he's really hung up on the looks.
Janice is fly, though. Janice is bad. He really is. Superficial, this dude.
But he described her almost like a trophy. He said that she would make you feel inferior because she's superior.
Yeah, here's the thing. She's superior. I don't even know Janice. I don't even know this dude, but she is superior. And she acts bored. Because you're boring. That's why she's bored. Let's listen to the next clip.
What about Anne? She knows how to have a good time and how to make the fellow with her relax, have fun too. Yes, that's what a boy likes. He wants to know he's appreciated. Anne would be fun on a date.
There's like an undertone of sexism sometimes, and there's just overt sexism. And now it went from instructional video, now it's like, here's how you act on a date, Anne. You have to be fun and make him feel good.
Yeah, it's one of those things, I guess, for people who go on dating websites. At first it's like, hey, send a text. Then it's like, send a picture. Then it's like, send a nude. That's almost basically where he went with this. He went all the way there really fast.
Really fast.
With Ann, who he calls a fun girl, who knows how to make a fella have a good time.
And there's more subtext to this, too. Janice, she's too hot for you. She's superior.
Janice is
too fly for you.
Correct.
But Ann, she's fun. Maybe she's not that fly, but she's fun, and she makes you feel comfortable. Because you're not comfortable around the fly girls. Give me a chance, narrator. I can make Janice happy. Probably not. Let's listen to the next clip from 1949, instructional video on dating.
Don't overdo on dating. Ed knows what I mean. Weekends only and not too late.
Weekends only and not too late.
What? So this is where things have changed. Okay. That young lady seemed to have a different level of etiquette and class about how a date should transpire. Now the roof has been blown off.
Mm-hmm.
It's 24/7, 365. People taking first dates to the strip club now. And by the way, you alluded to something, and I want to go back to it.
What, Janice is fly?
No.
Oh.
Fellas think we're choosing when we're actually being chosen.
Exactly.
And nothing plays out more to this dynamic than what we're talking about. You think you're picking when you're going to go out on a date, when she's actually picking.
Yep. I do agree with her on one point, though. Not too late. Especially if drinking's involved. If it's early in a relationship, fellas, you might have one or two to get comfortable, but no, not early on do they want to see you.
Yeah, don't get
like
full.
that.
Don't get full.
Don't get full.
Don't get full. And ladies, leave something for the imagination. If you got everything hanging out, I don't have to imagine anything.
Let's listen to the final clip from a 1949 dating advice video.
But I don't think I'll know what to say, what to talk about.
Now, don't worry about that. Just be your natural talkative old self.
Oh, you lost already, dude. You can't leave the house like, I don't even know if I'm going to do a good job. You lost already. You're a herb. That's why Janice is acting bored. Because you're a herb.
I don't know what to say.
I don't know what to do. Oh, God. Here's the thing. If that's your attitude, then this video is not helping.
But here's the thing also that we got to make sure we express.
I don't know what to do.
This is also at a time when you had to be able to articulate yourself, have a conversation, introduce yourself.
And you can't use emojis.
And get a phone number and then contact her again. Not just do the 50-50, oh, she's following me, slide in a DM and have a chance to get maybe set up or shot down.
Yep. We have a voicemail line. If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us voicemails. And Jalen, I've sent you this to you in a text, but I want to put it on wax because that's the only time you really listen to me. You need to change your outgoing message. It's like it's all the sound quality is terrible. You don't. Just 5 seconds before you even start speaking, so it sounds like you're picking up the phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've texted you about this. Can you please change this?
I will.
It sounds like you're in like a loud room. It's awful.
Right after the show, I'll get on that.
Okay. We'll check in next week with an update. But you can call our voicemail. Let's listen to the first one.
What up, yo, fellas? This is Evan Wazorek from Cleveland. Big fan of the show. Listen to it every day. My question is for Jacoby. David, what is the most unnecessary tip you've ever seen Jalen Rose give while you guys are out on the town together?
Well, that's a great question. You give some really unnecessary tips. Like, you give really unnecessary. Like, everybody tips the guy in the bathroom or whatever. I'm going to have to say it is the front of house person at a restaurant that just says hello. Like, I understand if you tip a bartender. I understand if you tip a server. But they literally just say hi. And all of a sudden they're $20 richer.
That's also the person that, whether the restaurant is full or empty, is responsible for getting you seated.
Yep. Thank you so much for the call, Adam. Let's listen to the next voicemail.
How you gentlemen doing? This is Alexander calling from Atlanta, Georgia. This message is for Jalen. Jalen, big-time Hawks fan. It's been a long-time stigma that athletes, or preferably basketball players, don't want to play in Atlanta. You've been on the inside. You've been there. You've been in the league. Why don't NBA players want to come to Atlanta?
Thank you for the call. Appreciate the love. That's not accurate. Atlanta isn't a taboo place for NBA players. They just landed, in their estimation, a big-time free agent this summer. A homegrown product at that, in Dwight Howard. They were a team 2 years ago that just won 60 games. Paul Millsap has made himself into a consistent all-star. Tim Hardaway resurrected himself. He's playing really good basketball. So Atlanta, while they haven't been a championship-laden franchise in basketball, it is not a city that people look at and say, I don't want to play there.
When you don't play there, you do want to go there, though.
Absolutely.
Why is that?
A lot of entertainment.
Let's move on. Let's listen to the next voicemail.
Hi, Jalen and Jacoby. My husband, DeAndre, is a huge fan of the show. He listens to it all the time, and he's also a huge fan of Jalen. His birthday is actually the same as Jalen's on January 30th, and I was wondering if you guys could just wish him a quick happy birthday. Thank you.
I love that.
Of course. I mean, first of all, I didn't know DeAndre Jordan watched the show like that. What? You know? And I also didn't know that you shared a birthday with DeAndre Jordan.
That's not DeAndre Jordan.
Oh, my bad.
He's not married.
Oh, my bad.
We appreciate the call. Happy birthday, DeAndre.
Happy birthday, DeAndre. Big shout to you. And you know what? That's a wife looking out.
No doubt.
You know what? She woke up this morning and said, what is my husband like? He likes Jalen and Jacoby. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find out what their stupid voicemail number is, and I'm going to ask them to say happy birthday. You are a lucky man,
That's
DeAndre.
love.
You are a lucky man. Let's listen to the next voicemail.
What's up, fellas? All right, whose discography would you rather have? Kanye West or Ice Cube? That's it.
Oh, this is not even close.
I love the show.
This is not even close. Appreciate the love. He didn't say his name or where he's from. We appreciate your love, and thank you for calling in. This is not close because Ice Cube has dual discography.
Yep.
One as an artist, one as an actor, one as a producer.
Because you're saying Ice Cube.
Without a doubt.
I would rather have Ice Cube's discography. I guess he's saying, like, if I was one of those people, which body of work would I rather be mine? And I would say Ice Cube's. However, if I was on an island and I could only listen to either exclusively Ice Cube or Kanye West, I'm going Kanye 10 times out of 10. Let's listen to the next voicemail.
Hi, Jalen and Jacoby. I'm wondering if Tom Brady versus Roger Goodell is the largest individual rivalry in sports right now.
Thank you for calling. Appreciate the love. Didn't say his name or where he was from. Absolutely not.
Not even close.
Here's one thing about greatness that happens, and or successful people do this all of the time. One of the masters of this right now, his name is DJ Khaled.
Oh, we're the best.
Because successful people channel all of their naysayers. And they use that as fuel even when they're on top, like they haven't accomplished anything. The exact same thing with Tom Brady. Tom Brady is winning. People talk about Tom Brady like he's still not productive. Like it's hindsight when he played well. He was in the MVP conversation this season. So there is no rivalry between he and Roger Goodell. And let me just say this. Spygate happened. They cheated. They got caught.
That's not true. That was alleged.
Deflategate happened. They cheated. They got caught.
What? Got caught doing what?
And so
the natural air temperature in the winter deflates balls. It's fact. Anyone who's played basketball in the winter knows that.
So as you fast forward, now the public sentiment is, oh my goodness, the Patriots have a chip on their shoulder. Brady's going to come out and stick it to the man. He's planning on doing that anyway.
That's the thing. I don't think you need to be motivated to win a Super Bowl, aside the fact that it's the Super Bowl. And I also think that in the 13 days of preparation to face the Falcons, Roger Goodell has crossed his mind about 0 times. I'm thinking he's much more worried about Vic Beasley than he is Roger Goodell. Let's just say that. Thank you so much for the shout. Let's listen to the next voicemail. If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us voicemails. Please do so.
This is Scott from Omaha. In honor of movie award season, I was wondering when they make the Jalen and Jacoby movie, what actors are going to play these vital roles?
It's got to be Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt, either Brad Pitt or George Clooney. I mean, you have to get someone that can match my handsomosity. You know what I mean? That's very hard to do.
That's very nice.
So I would say Brad Pitt, George Clooney.
For me, I would say Terrence Howard.
Oh, That's actually not bad. I could see that. He's trouble on set, though, I heard. Which is, again, accurate. He would happily embody the Jalen spirit. You remember how popular Empire was? Like, sometimes shows just seem to fall off a cliff. They just disappear.
Wait till Power returns.
I'm going to watch Power. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to catch up and I'm going to watch it. Let's listen to another voicemail.
Hey, guys. This is Tony in Detroit, Jalen. I think LeBron's being a little ridiculous. And do you think Dan Gilbert is ready to let him walk if that's the case with his contract when he gets the option?
What up, though, Tony? Thank you for calling in. Bron, walking is something that Dan Gilbert would dread. He doesn't want that to happen in any way, shape, or form. I understand what you're saying about him expressing his feelings publicly, which can put the GM and the ownership in an awkward position. The Cavs did deliver on their deal of doing everything it took to win a championship. LeBron delivered on his proclamation to the fans that he was going to bring a championship to the land. Now it's a stalemate. And also, I think we're underestimating how much they miss one J.R. Smith.
I think that's a good point, too. Like, this losing streak is a little different with J.R. Smith. Is Tony really from Detroit if instead of what up, though, he says, hey, guys?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Thank you so much for calling in. Remember, over the weekend, call 985-80-JALEN and leave us a voicemail. Yep. We have a motto on this show. Today, they're going to give us either-or proposals.
Okay.
Some of them about sports, some not about sports. We'll start with a pretty simple one. LeBron or Michael Jordan as a businessman?
Jordan.
It's hard to argue with the man with the billion-dollar company. However, if I could buy futures, I would buy them in LeBron. Can I admit something?
Sure.
I don't really know how futures work. But people that have money that buy stocks and stuff do things like that.
So, and this just shows the level of success that those individuals have attained.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I picked Jordan is the two things that he has are like staples forever. That's being the owner of a team and Air Jordans.
Yep. Do you know how many people have Michael Jordan's brand logo tattooed on their body? What? I see it at least once a week. Yep. I'm riding my bike down the street, and people are just putting Jordan brand stickers on their car. Just repping for Michael Jordan. Just because they just feel that way.
Some type of way. Make you feel some type of way.
This one's from Kevin. This is very important to you, Jalen.
Okay. Bald
spot or receding hairline? Wait, first of all, I've never seen you try harder to answer a question on this show. that just broke you.
You ready for this? Receding hairline.
What? Really?
Yeah, because you cut it low as possible like Kobe did the last 10 years.
No, you can't do that. Nope. Go all the way back in your head? That looks crazy. I'm not going to name any names, but we all know who we're talking about. Yep. The hairline can't go that far back. Nope. I looked at some old pictures of myself. I think my hairline's receding. What? I'm pretty sure it is.
Look at the logo.
It's really happening.
Which one would you take?
Right now. Bald spot. Yep. I'm 6'4". You know what I mean? No one can see that. No one can see that up there. I'm going Manu all day. Me and Manu just going bat hunting.
So you'd rather be Manu instead of LeBron?
Yeah, bald spot. Reggie, the producer, just got really angry. He just yelled in my ear, bald spot all day. So passionately. Chilo wants to know, Jalen, lobster or statues? I think he just means conceptually.
Conceptually, lobster.
Okay. Prince or Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson.
Me too. What? Method Man or Redman?
Redman.
Redman all day. LeBron or Westbrook as the most passive-aggressive superstar? That's a good question.
LeBron or Westbrook as the most passive-aggressive superstar, I would have to take LeBron.
I'm going LeBron. Earlier today, when he was saying that there was no issue, he also just happened to mention the number of people that were on the team. It's kind of like when me and my wife apologize to each other, but we say we're really sorry for something, but then immediately say what the other person did afterwards. You know? It's like, oh, you know what? I'm so sorry I was a jerk to you this morning, but here's why I was a jerk to you this morning. Because of something that you did.
Right. Here's
That's
why.
kind of like what LeBron does. It's like he can't even just say, oh, no, this is a non-issue. But in the middle of saying it's a non-issue, he brought up the issue.
He unfollowed the Cavs on Twitter last year.
Oh, my God, I forgot about that. Thank you so much for remembering that.
Yep.
Is he the pettiest athlete of all time?
No. We're not going there. We ain't
That's you?
going to take those type of shots.
That's you? No.
I'm not in the conversation.
Okay. I've been waiting for you not to be in the conversation for 5 years. T-Chang. An army of 100 mouse-sized Jalens or one elephant-sized Jacoby. Let me just say this. Check for me in 30 years. You'll see an elephant-sized Jacoby. Once I'm a grandfather, I'm not going to the gym anymore.
No.
So you'll see an elephant-sized Jacoby in 30
I'll say
years.
elephant Jacoby.
This is something that's very important to me. Ice cubed or crushed ice?
Cubed.
Crushed all day. Crushed all
Oh, no. We disagree here.
day. Let me just, I have science behind this.
Let's get it.
Okay. What does ice do for your drink?
Makes it colder.
Thank you very much. How does the ice make your drink colder?
By being inside of the water.
The water makes contact with the ice, which is cold. The surface of the ice that touches the liquid makes that liquid cold. Correct? That's fair to say, right?
Yes.
Okay. When you crush the ice, much more surface area. If you think about an ice cube, there's only so much of the cube that is touching the liquid. The surface area of the crushed ice makes your drink colder.
What? It's not about whether it's colder or not.
I just made that whole thing up, by the way.
Because look at it this way. If you don't have a cover on the glass, you can't drink it as efficiently with the ice cube.
See, now
with the crushed ice.
See, you cube people are constantly bringing this up that it's so hard to drink through crushed ice. No, it's not.
It is.
Like, have you ever had a glass?
You can choke.
A glass of something with crushed ice in it and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't get the liquid out of here because there's crushed ice in there. It just never happened. Oh, it's going to touch my teeth.
I like the
what
cube.
What are you talking about?
No, cube.
It's going to touch my teeth.
Cube.
It's going to touch my teeth.
There's nobody out here named crushed ice. There's somebody out here named Ice Cube.
I'll take crushed ice. I'm sure there's a rapper named Crushed Ice somewhere. Somewhere there's a rapper named Crushed Ice. If I go to somebody's house and in the door of their fridge, they've got a crushed ice dispenser, first of all, I'm like, you must be rich.
Yep.
Because I'll you can't even get me to leave. I'll just get crushed ice just for crushed ice.
That's like a water
dispenser.
version of a slushy.
Yep.
But I'm also that dude that comes to your house.
Would you take a slushy or a milkshake?
Milkshake all day.
Okay.
Yep.
There's a rapper named Cool Crushed Ice Killer. Sometimes when they say things in my ear, I think they're just trying to like play me like Ron Burgundy.
And with that name, I don't think you should say anything about him.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to bring him up. Oh, now the producer just told me, sorry, it's a song. Okay. It's a song by Terry Crews.
Terry Crews?
He's the dude with the pecs.
From Flint.
Here's the thing.
That's my homeboy.
Oh, so I can't say anything bad about him?
No.
Please?
No.
Okay.
That's family. I got his number on my phone.
Can you text Terry Crews right now?
And ask him about crushed ice or Ice Cube?
Yeah. just get his answer.
It seemed like you got his pecs on your mind.
What? Skydiving or bungee jumping?
Neither.
If you had to do one, play the game.
No, I'm not doing either.
Play the game.
No, I can't play that game. Certain games I can't play. I'm not playing that game. Because I don't want one person to hear me say it and be like, you know what? Since he do it, I'm going to do that too. I'm not encouraging either one of those things.
You can end world hunger. All you have to do is bungee jump or skydive. You'll feed humans for the rest of eternity. You're still not going to do it, are you? I see that face. I see that face. All you have to do is take the jump.
No. I'm not getting caught up in that trick bag.
You would starve our entire species before jumping off a bridge in Australia and bungee bouncing back up?
No.
That's where they do this, right? Australia?
No. Only thing I'm jumping off of is the porch.
You disappoint me sometimes. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for listening on ESPN Radio, for watching on ESPN2 and ESPN News, and subscribing to the Jalen and Jacoby podcast.
You're far too kind.
Got to give the people